Welcome to Patient Profiles. In this video, we are going to discuss when to use a listing table and when to use an event table. In this design, I've constructed a listing table and an event table using the same dataset, the AE dataset. When we toggle between the two tables in design view, they look identical. And when we click over to report view, the output also looks identical. Here is the adverse events listing table, and here is the event table. And below that we have our timeline, which is currently empty. So what is the difference between the two? We use a listing table to display information that we do not need to see in a timeline. This usually includes things like medical history, quality of life questionnaires, lesion measurements, ECG information, prior therapies, follow-up, and biopsy data, among other things. We use an event table only for data that we want conveyed in a timeline, so usually events that occurred on study with a start date and a stop date. Oftentimes this includes meds and adverse events, and occasionally it includes other data like dosing. When you look at the listing table and event table in design view, you can see that the top portion of the design window looks the same, but the bottom half of the event table includes the timeline options box. This is where we're going to check off the Show in Timeline box and just verify that the correct timeline name is selected. And then when we look over in our report view, we can see that our previously empty timeline is now populated with the adverse events from the event table. Consequently, we can just delete this listing table because we've got our event table displaying the information and also serving another purpose of populating the timeline. So we look in report view and we can see once again there's the adverse events event table and our timeline fully populated. Another option that we have with the event table is to just hide it. We can click that hide button there. We'll also hide our page break. And then when we look over in report view, we see that our timeline is still there and still populated with the events from the event table. So to recap, use an event table to populate a timeline and use a listing table for all other multi-visit or multi-record data sets. You can look in the box below this video to find links to additional videos with specific information about how to build a listing table, how to build an event table, and how to build a timeline.